Hi, I am here to teach you a little bit about how to sing this hymn. Here we go. All right, so this hymn here is in place of It Is Truly Meet in the liturgy. So we will be singing this whenever we have the Liturgy of St. Basil the Great, when it's not associated with a feast day. So every Sunday throughout Lent, we sing this instead of It Is Truly Meet, as you can see up there. Up there. Yes. All right. So this piece is sung in a major key, which means the tone of the piece is brighter, but it starts with a minor key. And I'm going to just kind of go through this a little bit. Let me see if I can get my cursor to show up. Oh, actually I know how I can get the cursor to show up. So, alright, you can see my cursor here. I am going to get a little pointy cursor. So, hand. There we go. Okay, so you can see the little hand there. This here is our starting chord. The bass, low men voices sing this from this line here. You can see all of these little lines are pointing down. That means people like Walter, Caleb, Dorian, they're singing these notes down here, and then they'll follow that same tract down here. The tenors, Francis, Troy, Ellen often sings tenor. Their notes have the little sticks pointing up. It's the higher of the two notes in this bass clef. And then up here we have the treble voices. We have soprano and alto. So the alto, you can see, like the basses have their little stems pointing down. Those are the parts that they're singing. And then the soprano or melody, they'll be singing the notes with the lines pointing up. And a quick refresher, if it's a circle with a white center and a line, that's a half note. Dark filled in circle with line is a quarter note. I don't think I have any eighth notes to show you in here. If it doesn't have a line, it's a whole note. And make sure you review the music theory lesson if you don't know about that. Alright, so when I pitch this, da, 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 so that's a minor chord that we're starting with. Da, 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 so, mi, do, so, mi, flat, do, or mi minor, do. Da, 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 da. Usually if I give a minor arpeggio like that, da, 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 the middle of those three notes is what the soprano sings, or the melody. Da, da, da. So soprano's gonna start here. Da, da, da. Soprano starting here. 1, 2, 3. All of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace. And before I go on, I want to point out, just because I take a breath does not mean that you take a breath. If we all breathe at the same time, we might end up chopping up the music. So as we're going through a phrase, if you can breathe in a different spot than where you run out of breath, that's better. We'll start again. Da, da, da. Alright, so I wish I could point as I go. So I'm going to use the little cursor here to point what we're singing. Da, 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 da. All of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace. The assembly to this first one, I'm going to take the tempo up a little bit more. For those of you who are new to learning music, as the little circles go higher and these lines, your pitch is going to go higher. I'm going to just use my hand to direct, but when I'm giving a downbeat in this piece, every time I go down, it's the time of one of these half notes. So all of creation rejoices in the full of grace. Now you might be wondering, why is she stuttering her vowels? Two of these quarter notes make up a whole note. A half note. Two of these quarter notes make up a half note, and two of these half notes make a whole note. Just think fractions there. So when we're kind of beating out this over here, da 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 da. So we'll sing this. We'll sing it a little bit faster than what I initially gave us, but this piece is kind of supposed to be a little bit schmaltzy, so we're kind of lean into the music of it because it's expressing such a beautiful message. All of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace, right? Da, da, da. And remember when it's a minor chord like that, da, 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 usually the soprano will start on the middle of those three notes, right? So da, 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 high, middle, low. Usually the bass will start on the lowest note that I sing, but there are exceptions. So da, da, da. I'm not going to move the little hand cursor. I'm just going to beat the tempo, which is the kind of like the pulse rate of the music. So da da da, all of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace. And before we go on, here's another thing that I wanted you to kind of think about as you're singing. We sing on a vowel, so we don't sing on all of creation rejoices. We don't sing on the consonants. We sing on the vowel. So we only use those consonants when we're flipping to the next note. So all of, so it's more like ah, la, creation rejoices. So just kind of think about the vowels being what makes the sound of most of your note. All right, starting again. I won't stop yet. Da 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 da. All of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace, the assembly of angels and the race of men. O sanctified temple and spiritual paradise, the glory of virgins, from whom God was incarnate. Now right there, you see that little symbol above the word incarnate? Let's see, you'll see it over here. Looks like a bird's eye. This just means hold the note as long as the director tells you to. There's a few other times where I do that where you don't see the bird's eye, so I apologize that there's not a consistency there. But this, absolutely, you have to look at the director so you know when your next move is, and that's just on the next pitch. So I'm going to start us out here, from whom God. Oh, it's a major chord, da da da. In this case, da da da. We're starting on the top note. That's not always the case when we hear the major chord, but in this situation, it is da da da. From whom I wanted to kind of give an example of kind of consonants and vowels and how we breathe in the music. So if you see down here, I took a breath right in the middle of this word, but I didn't say in. I said I came in on the same vowel. I did take a breath. I tried to do it kind of like, not like, I tried to not do it loud, but kind of like if you know you're coming to a place where you need to take a breath, quiet down a little bit so it's not such a harsh breath there. So starting at all of creation, we'll just go all of creation to the end. I'm going to challenge you to make sure you take a breath somewhere in the middle of a longer vowel. Kind of quietly die out and then take a quick breath and come back in, but not too harsh at the cutoff or the coming back in. Da, 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 da. Start all of creation right here. All of creation rejoices, sing thee, O full of grace, glory to thee. All right. This time through, I'm going to take it just a little bit quicker, no stops. Just practice your part. If you have another part, sing along with it. Da da da. This one I'm not. Sorry, gotta go over here. All of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace, the assembly of angels and the race of men, O sanctified temple and spiritual paradise, the glory of virgins, from whom God was incarnate and became a child. Don't do that like I did. I put before the ages, He made thy body into a throne, and thy womb became more spacious than the heavens. All of creation rejoices in thee, O full of grace. Glory to thee. Thank you guys for practicing. If you would like your part sung in this piece rather than the soprano, let me know. I will record your part for you. Thank you guys for practicing.